Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Ark, and this is my lovely wife and travel advisor, Miss Josie.
Hi,
We are
everyone.
joined this week at the virtual table by Miss Sarah and Miss Jen. You can talk now. It's cool. We're good.
Are you
Okay.
sure? We
You're
got
allowed.
yelled at. We weren't supposed to talk, so I'm trying to behave.
You're good.
Yeah,
There. Well, welcome to what we'll call a hot mess here of our first podcast that we're giving a try here on Travel Advisors Unlimited. Wanted to talk to you this episode about Virgin Voyages. All of us here recently had the opportunity to be an invited guest on Virgin Voyages. They had us on back a couple months ago, and we wanted to kind of talk about that experience. So, I guess one of the main things, and we'll open the table here for discussion. Josie and I have done numerous Disney cruises over the years, 16 as a matter of fact. And one of the things we always liked about Disney is the fact it's so all inclusive. But I don't know about you guys, but Virgin felt even more all inclusive than Disney did in some ways.
That's our background music for our dogs going out because my mom needed to make sure that he was emotionally supported out. I apologize.
As I said, it's going to be a hot mess. It's
Really?
cool.
So, anywho, I have to say, so Virgin Voyages, that's what we're talking about today.
That's
Here we
it.
go.
Virgin Voyages.
Yeah, so I loved it. 10 out of 10. I Disney Cruise Line was like a very high expectation cruise. And so when you go on to anything else, you're always kind of thinking, oh, is it going to hold up to this? But I have to say that as an adult only cruise, I was very intimidated because of the media that puts out there. I mean, right? Like when you guys look at the media, what's the first thing that you see is these beautiful people, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
It freaks me out. I'm like, I'm not.
I mean, Ark is gorgeous, so don't.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'll be honest. I
Right.
was, and Josie can tell you, I was scared to death to go on this cruise. Like up until the last minute was like, I don't even know, and we weren't even paying for this one. I'm like, I don't even know that I want to go on this thing.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
once we got on, the experience certainly changed. But would you guys agree though, as far as it being all inclusive, it's pretty darn all inclusive of a
Yeah.
cruise.
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, absolutely. It compares to an all-inclusive resort, in all honesty. With having all food, including your specialty dinings and everything else like that included, as well as your sodas. The only thing you had to pay for was alcohol if you chose to drink.
Yeah, absolutely. And even their drinks didn't feel that expensive compared to the other cruise lines.
I agree.
No, I'll agree with that 100%. I opted in for what did I buy? What was it? A $300 onboard drink credit. Yeah, I still had like $50 left over.
And you were buying rounds for everybody every night. I mean, you're just throwing them out
Yeah,
there.
because I was like, I got to spend this money. Because I honestly didn't realize that the drinks were not going to be, like Disney prices or not even Disney prices, but I mean, even on the regular cruise ships like Carnival and Royal and Norwegian, where it's like $15 to $20 a beverage. And on here, it seemed like it was only like weird, maybe $10.
Well, and the other part of that's really hard to kind of adjust to is the fact that you're not tipping. Virgin Voyages is tip free. I mean, they discourage you from tipping because their crew is compensated enough already for the job they're doing. And there were numerous times where I'm like, God, I wish I had money to tip these folks, but they wouldn't take it anyway if I did. It was incredible the level of service. For not tipping, I was shocked.
Agreed, very much.
Yes.
Yeah, I just all that I can see how excited your dogs are about this too, Jen. I can hear them.
I'm sorry, they're fighting.
Again, the Hot Mess podcast is what we should have talked
Yes,
about.
exactly.
They're fighting, and yeah,
I love it.
We're going
With
with
two little pugs. It's like two little piglets.
they're Frenchies. Anyway.
Everybody's catching the live version. I'll edit this down to a shorter actual version.
No.
No, you don't
Man.
edit us. This is part of
This
us.
is it. This
But-
is it.
I want to
Yeah.
see a puppy belly by the end of this, okay, Jen?
Yeah.
You probably will because they'll be over here fighting under my desk shortly.
Yes.
So
But
for someone,
you know what I loved about the dining experience though, that is all inclusive with it, is like a lot of times when you are cruising though, it's like, oh, you go to the dining hall, right? Or you can go to the buffet, or and then just like you guys said, because it's like all the specialty stuff is included. I loved how different everything was. And I know some people are picky food eaters, and I mean, I had just gone after surgery. So to go to the test kitchen or like one of these like out of the box restaurants that they have there, which I know I keep saying the test kitchen because it's my favorite, but was just such a unique experience too, So that's why I really enjoyed it. And it's not anything extra. That's the point.
right? Yeah.
It's just like you can have caviar and it's included,
And of course, they have the usual staples too. And we're way jumping ahead, and that's all right. But my favorite part of the cruise and onboard dining was the galley. The galley was.
Oop, I can't hear Ark.
I can't hear Ark either. I don't know what just happened.
I'm so sorry.
Are you back? It was like as soon as he popped up that picture.
Yeah. Let's see. But we could fill in. The galley was amazing.
The galley
love
was
omelet.
fantastic.
I like the omelet station the best for breakfast. That's where I went.
So I was really impressed because everything was pretty much made to order. I mean, the only thing that was not really like made to order was the sushi, but they were continuously making it.
Oh yeah,
So
and
it
they had
was
timestamps
fresh.
on everything. I
Yes.
loved that. Oh yeah, that was super duper good. And there was all those different stations, like the fresh fruit that's over there, and
Mhm.
they had, and because of my eating like I can't have wheat, gluten, or sugar, and it has to be like I have like super weird diet stuff. So like they accommodated everything. It was so good. Ark, you lost your sound. Now you could just sit there and look pretty. We got you.
You're adorable. If I could, I'd
Love
smush your
this.
cheeks.
Because he's like, oh no. But well, we're going.
Oh
and what
no,
did they have?
Mr.
What was
Bill.
that? They had like a Mexican food area in there too, and a noodle area. It was all in the galley, right?
Yeah, so they had, at the beginning, it was, I want to say that the first thing was the Mexican. No, that one had like the avocado toast. It was like the,
Oh yeah. Avocado toast.
like the crunchy granola type stuff that people like to eat.
Yeah.
And then the next one was like that noodle where they would have those ramen bowls. And then the following one they had, oh my gosh, it's like a free for all. And then around the corner, it's like in the morning it was the omelet station, but then it became the burger bar. And then the next spot over, what was that?
I don't know.
I
Because
don't remember.
didn't
I know
eat much
that
in
there's
there.
a bakery over there too.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
And they had, what is that thing? Was it a Prosecco thing where you could have like mimosas or something for breakfast?
Yeah, they had the mimosa bar there that was mimosas during the morning and stuff. And then it was like champagne popsicles in the afternoon.
Ah, champagne popsicles. That was it. That was so cool. And I loved, listen, those like by where all the sushi stuff was. During the morning, they had fruit stuff. And
Yes.
then with like yogurt, and you could get it either like Greek yogurt or you get like sugar-free yogurt, stuff like that. And then they also had like grab and goes. And yes, I took one of the plastic grab and goes. And in them, they were like either like charcuterie or you get like sandwich or something. So you could grab the box and like go to the pool or this, that, or whatever if you just wanted. And that was all in that galley area, which was super cool.
Yes.
that.
And then I really liked the coffee bars that were around the ship too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like coffee.
We could have, I mean, Art could do this whole podcast on the food that was there because it was just, I think
There,
that was
there
10
was a
out of 10.
lot.
There was a lot
Absolutely.
of
Hand down.
choices. Do you know what I loved? The Mediterranean place that was off the back. Can you hear me now?
We're
Art's
back.
Yay!
Is he back?
Yeah.
We're back.
We're sorry.
We're talking about, you know, that Mediterranean restaurant that is, was it on the back or the front of the ship? I think, where's the net? Was the net on the back of the ship?
And that was on the back.
No, it's not in the back.
Yes. Yes. So I think it was back there and they would play music and you could get like I could eat everything there. It was so good. But and that's right off the galley too.
Was that the wake?
Kind of.
Or was that
No, the wake was the steakhouse.
Yeah. This was outside. This was like an outside area underneath of
I've
it.
gone to that.
Yeah, and that was one of the things too. We, as much time as I thought I had, we were running short on time trying to get, get to everything. And I wanted to explore it being the first time on the ship, wanted to explore it as much as possible. But, let's talk about the overall vibe on the ship. Sarah, you touched on this a little bit earlier. We see all the videos of the beautiful people. But, what did you feel like the clientele on board was?
To be honest with you, not what I expected at all. Like I felt so like being a big girl, like I felt so comfortable just throwing a baseball cap on and I had my high-waisted, skirt bikini skirt and little bikini top on, but it was like full coverage. It was a little bit of a anyway, I felt comfortable wearing that. Like it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, like with these supermodels out there and blah blah blah. So I was super duper comfortable. Like I want to go back again.
Yeah.
So I felt. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jen. You're good.
I was gonna say I felt like you literally had all walks of life on board.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like. It wasn't all young adults, and it wasn't all geriatric. It was like a good blend of everything. Listen, I'm only saying geriatric is because I have been on a couple cruises where that is the majority.
Yeah. I like hanging out with them. It's
I do
but
too.
bingo and trivia and shows, baby.
And card games.
Yeah. Those are my favorite.
That's where it's at.
But I mean, from the and the overall environment on board the ship was just fun in general. I just from the moment you boarded, it was fun. And I'm going to try moving to my next scene with the video in it again and see if this happens to us again. So if it does, I'll be right back. But
okay, we got you.
Here we go. Seeing if we can you still? Like you've lost me again, haven't you?
No, I hear you. Are you there?
That. The walk-on on the
walk-on.
ship was
Yeah, man.
everything.
It
Yes.
was, it was this whole, it was of course during Christmas time, but it was just this exciting time, just the moment you get on, they're out there having fun, the Hat Meets crew there, and I love their outfits. I wished I could rock those outfits because I would have one if I could.
Listen, I think I'll get that for you for Christmas.
Would you please?
Then you
'Cause
have
I'll
to
be
wear
on
it all the
board for
time.
New Year's Eve.
Yes, that'd be perfect.
If my husband wasn't in the restaurant business, I would be on board for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was, and we're not partiers by any means, and that was one of my fears of, going on board was it's going to be this whole party scene. I was just relaxed the whole time. It was just this fun environment, so much so that, as we kept, watching the videos, as I was even preparing for, the podcast, I was like, I want to go again. I mean, thankfully we are at the end of the year, but it was just this overall fun time. The whole thing was just fun. It was this fun vibe, and like we were talking about earlier, you didn't feel like you had to be anything. You could just be you and just enjoy yourself on board.
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
It was very
yeah.
relaxed. But there were people that dressed up every day, every night, for every occasion, and that was wonderful. And then there was a bunch of people that dressed down and were super comfortable in shorts and a t-shirt all the time. And no one made a big fuss about it. It was come as you are, be who you are, and be included in everything. And that was really special because, again, going on to the cruise, not really knowing what we were going to get once we got on board with the clientele. It was just very comfortable and very inclusive feeling. No matter who you are, what you want to be, what you want to wear, you were included in everything. And I really loved that about it.
And everybody was kind and friendly. I mean, you didn't have the Karens running the ship or anything like that. It was all very inclusive. Literally, as Joshi said, I mean, whatever you want to be and whoever you are, I mean, you're welcome on board Virgin.
Yeah, no, 100%. I enjoyed dressing up every single night too, because I think once I got on board, I was still intimidated when I was packing, right? Because you're like, oh my God, I got to pack all
Agreed.
my Spanx. And I didn't wear them once.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like I put on my stuff and I felt great wearing them. Not like rolls were sticking out, but you
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Like it was the fact that just like you'd said, every shape, every size, every personality type, every whatever, it was fabulous. I felt so comfortable. And I love the little Instagram areas, like
Oh
the
yeah,
picture areas.
Yes.
Wasn't that so much fun?
it was. They're
It
all
was
different.
fun and it was inviting. And it was nice because
Yes.
they didn't have the photographers there, like in your face, like all the other ships that I've been on to.
Yes.
But it was great because anybody that was there was like, let me take your picture. And then like we
Yeah.
had one girl, she was just like, oh no, you need to pose this way. Like she was like getting all into it and telling us how to pose and what to do. And it was just, I loved it.
Yeah, there were plenty of Instagram worthy moments all over the ship. I mean, just everywhere you
Yeah.
turn. And
Absolutely.
the sailing way, continuing on with the fun. As you sail away, have this nice little party on the top deck. Free champagne for everybody, as much as you could stand to drink. Jen's over there quadruple fisting the champagne.
Don't judge me. I don't need this kind of judgment in my
Oh
life.
We're
Lord,
just
Yes.
celebrating you,
we
Yes, you
Jen.
do.
are. But it was
If
just
it's free, it's for me. That's all I'm saying.
it's free. It's for you. Absolutely.
You were there for the experience and you were experiencing it, okay?
But yeah,
Exactly.
you start off right, with a nice party on the top deck, and then let's talk real quick about the staterooms. And I'm going to play the little video here with Josie not narrating in the background, but little video of the stateroom tour here. How did you guys feel about the staterooms? I think we all had sea terrace staterooms, if I understood correctly.
Yes. So I personally I loved the layout of the staterooms. There was plenty of room. However, they laid it out. The only thing I did not like, it felt very IKEA-ish, but I know that's like the thing now.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I
You
think
mean
that
because
was
the bed?
the whole
The
thing.
bed was like my bed was very IKEA-ish.
Yeah, I told Josie, and I think I told Jen too. I felt like IKEA threw up into the bedroom. Like that was what the whole room felt like, which was fine, but that it definitely was an IKEA-ish type bedroom.
And the
Very
bed was
clean.
comfortable. That's all I really cared about.
And I
Oh
didn't think
yeah,
it
it
was going to
was.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Considering you were sleeping on like a makeshift type couch.
Platform bed.
Yeah, it was really comfortable and I really enjoyed it. But again, yes, it did feel very IKEA-ish with a very modular, clean lines, just very open. But that's that was what they were selling and it works. It works
Mhm.
well for them. I didn't feel at any point that the space or anything should really change because I think it just works in that for the ships.
Yeah, one of the important things to note too, a difference from Disney and some of the other cruise lines is it is a single bathroom, so it's not the separate, toilet area from the shower. But felt for me as a larger guy a little bit cramped in there at times, but I may do. But the room itself, super spacious. You got a great sized TV on the wall, which of course, with the older Disney ships is something you don't have. Although we didn't spend a ton of time in the bedroom. One of the other fancy things there. Did you guys figure out your tablet to control
Yes,
the?
I did.
I love it. I love the fact that these rooms were smart rooms, from opening up the door and the curtains opening as you walk in to let that light in, and all the different moods, like the bonk shaka wow wow button. Like
Exactly.
Mike and I played with all those buttons, and we did spend some time in bed. And one thing that I think that this cruise line had that a lot didn't, I want to mention, since you mentioned that TV, was like good streaming movies. Like, you could watch like something from your device, like if you had something to throw up on there, because the Wi-Fi is fabulous. I had great Wi-Fi in there, but
Yep, Wi-Fi.
they had,
And
what
it's
was
free.
the new one? The bomb movie came out.
I
It
can't
was
remember
brand
the name.
new.
The
You know what I'm
Oppenheimer?
talking about, but
Uh,
yes,
Is it that one?
Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Yeah, it just had come out and they already had it on the TV, so we could watch it. But you could have anything, like I love watching things like Gone with the Wind, all the way up to brand new releases, and they were on that TV, which I thought was great because a lot of times you're so restricted when you just want to have some downtime in your cabin. So
Yeah.
I loved that. Yeah.
And I was really kind of excited because we were there at Christmas time. I know, Sarah, you were in the week before us,
Yeah.
or the sailing
got
right
off.
before us, one of the two.
I
You got off, we
you
got
guys
on. And I really liked the fact that they had the Christmas movies on there. So you had National Lampoons, you had A Christmas Story, all the stuff that you normally watch that time of year. So it wasn't like you were missing out.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And then let's not forget the amazing hammock on the veranda. I know that's where anytime that I slipped away, that's where I was on that hammock.
Yes, you are.
I may have passed out for like
I
20 minutes.
know I fell asleep on there one day.
It was great.
Especially with the boat rocking, the hammocks rocking. I mean, that is the absolute perfect place to sleep.
Yeah.
Let's transition, talk a little bit about the entertainment on board. They had quite a few shows. We didn't get to catch all of them. We got back late from the excursion one day, but my favorite, I think pretty much everybody's favorite on our sailing, was the It's a Ship show.
Yay!
was-
Love that. Did you guys do the dinner show arc?
That's that
We
one.
did.
That's that one.
That is the ship show.
Oh yeah.
Show.
That's
But,
it.
I mean, high quality entertainment on board. Numerous venues for them to have shows on, and their spaces were quite creative in that they had stages that could raise up and lower down. So you really had this unique experience. One of the shows that we didn't get to catch, the room reconfigured itself numerous times throughout the show. So very, very interactive shows. Jen got on stage during the It's a Ship show. She represented us well. But it was a great time. No lack of good entertainment on board, and again, a very inclusive entertainment. I will say, some of it, if you did find yourself being extremely conservative, may have gotten offended. But as long as you had your big boy pants on, you'll be just fine. But there is some of it that was a little bit more. And again, it's an adults only cruise. It's geared towards adults, so just know what you're getting into ahead of time on that.
For sure. Oh, like Drag Queen trivia. That was awesome.
That was.
I had a blast doing that one. And then right next to it, they had the best milkshakes and the best you can get a whole bag of candy. You bet your butt I did watch my mouth there. You bet your butt that I took a couple bags home with us, which was great. But then right around from the corner of that was the best arcade games. And I'm talking Super Mario Brother, King
Yes,
Kong,
so
like
much
all
fun.
that stuff. People were looking at me like I'm all weird because I'm like, shaking the thing because it brought back memories. It was great. It was all the stuff from my childhood. So it was great.
Yeah, that was the space we spent a lot of time at. They even had board games sitting there, so if you wanted to just chill out and play a board game. Again, there was no lack of things to do on this cruise. I mean, there was always something to do. And when we were sitting around talking about the podcast the other day, when Josie and I were kind of getting ready for things, I started thinking it didn't feel like a traditional cruise ship. It felt more like a luxury yacht, more of a yacht experience. And so I started researching that, and Richard Branson, who we're all familiar with, the owner of Virgin, I said to Josie, I said, it feels more like he designed a ship that he would want to bring people on board. And I started researching, watching some YouTube videos, and sure enough, that was his exact quote almost. He wanted to design a luxury yacht that he would want to bring his friends onto. And that's exactly what he did. It's exactly what it felt like. It did not feel like the traditional cruise ship that we're all used to being on.
Have you ever stayed at any of the Virgin hotels?
We have not.
So it's got the very same type of feel. Not so much, not the entertainment aspect of it, but it has the same feel of they want you to be in that luxury feel and get that experience, even though a lot of people are just basically using the hotel to sleep in. But you still have all those fancy amenities, if you will, that will allow you to enjoy luxury, but not at the crazy expensive
Right.
Four Seasons pricing.
Yeah, and it felt very luxurious. Every portion of the ship. I thought the shops were appropriate for what was on board. You can even get a tattoo on board if you so desired. I did. Did any of you get to visit the spa? I never did.
Oh yeah.
Jen
Come on
did.
now. You know me better.
I
than
did.
that.
A pedicure.
Tell us about the
I did
spa.
a pedicure.
Tell us about your pedicure, Jen, and then I'll tell you how I did it.
Well, no, so I did a pedicure. I did it in the evening, I believe. Right?
I think it was like late afternoon.
Late afternoon. Okay, yeah. So listen, I can't remember because I did
Me
a
either.
couple of cruises since then. But
Well,
I did
then.
whale.
How was your pedicure, Jen?
The pedicure was great. No, the spa staff was actually absolutely amazing. They're personable, they're kind, and it was clean. And that's the biggest thing to me. Like going to get a pedicure is to have a clean area because, you hear all the horror stories of not just on ships, but in the shop
Nail
down the
salons
street.
in general.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
for
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So it was nice to see that it was almost like they went above and beyond to keep it clean because as soon as I was done, she was in there scrubbing the thing out.
Nice. Did they try to sell you a lot of products or anything? Just curious.
They did not like the other ships I've been on. Like Princess and Carnival really push them.
And Disney.
And
Disney does too. Royal wasn't too bad. They're like, this is what we used. If you'd want it, it's for sale.
Nice.
Yeah,
As to where they didn't sit you down for like a 20-minute lecture on what products they used.
yeah, that's one of the things I always hated about Disney. As much as I love their spa, they were a hard product seller, and I got to the point where on the little form you'd fill out ahead of time, I'd write "not interested in any product," just to keep them from hitting me up on it.
Ooh, that's
I
smart.
wonder.
You keep
I
that.
almost wonder if Disney gets commission on that.
They probably
Of course they do. Of course they do. And they do. Like the employees for sure.
That's what I'm saying. The employees. That's
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
they're the ones that push it. So
For
Tell us
sure.
about your spa experience, Sarah.
Well, let me count the waves.
oh geez, here we go.
Mike and I, listen, mine's not gonna take 500 years like yours, but anywho, I went and we went and did a couples massage, right? Which was fabulous. I think pricing was on point. I'm not gonna lie for it. And I'm picky because I'm just picky. And so we did that. And then we did they have a fabulous hydrotherapy area where you could do like Himalayan steam room to the standard steam room to eucalyptus room to they have hey Alyssa, hey Dylan, to sorry burp.
It's not going to take me 5,000 years.
They had oh right. But anyways, they also had the plunge pool, like the cold plunge pool that I
Ooh.
made Mike get into, and that was awesome. And then they had this big hot tub thing, and then you could lay out and out. What I'd love to is that they had these huge windows off the back, like huge, like the big Disney windows, the big portal ones that you can like sit in. They had those with these like warm Himalayan salt like loungers, so you
Nice.
could just watch the water in the back because it's in the back of the ship as you go. And I passed out. I was drooling, and it was so good. So you go from your amazing massage to doing this great hydrotherapy and treatments and stuff. And Marley Ann, do not knock my stuff over, but Yeah, it was great. I would definitely do it. And I think the price point compared to Disney, compared to Carnival, compared to Princess, I think in my eyes was fabulous. I think it was very well priced.
And I
I think
assume
the whole
no
cruise
tip in
was.
there either, right?
No, you didn't have to. And no, they didn't push anything on us. Like Jen and I ended up walking out with like $100 bottles of oil after getting a pedicure done in Alaska. Right. And there, it's great Japanese, whatever oil, right? But
Yeah.
I felt so like, oh my God, I have to buy this oil in order for her to shut up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're
Been there,
here.
done that.
Right?
Yeah, they don't say anything. So I was like, thank God. And I could just go about my day and bottles of water and blah, blah, blah. It was great. So 10 out of 10. That was
Nice.
my less than 500-year explanation of the spa.
Did you
It
guys
was longer than
feel,
mine, just
though,
saying.
too, that you were often feeling like you needed to tip because the service was that good and you felt like you really wanted to tip?
Okay, so because I travel so much all over the world, American tipping culture is out of control. So for me, I feel different about it. Yes, I felt like if they had like cast compliment things, I would absolutely be like, okay, uh, maybe, yes, but I also am like that person in the back of my head, like tipping culture is out of control. This is your job, you get paid for. Okay, bye. So
But I
So,
don't feel the service suffered it. Go ahead, Jen, sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, just I don't feel like the service suffered because of that. I felt like
no,
everybody, they're not wearing, typical crew uniforms. They're in polos and, they're just
yeah.
allowed to be themselves. And I think really that helped the cruise be what it was because they were just cool and they were able to be themselves. Go ahead, Jen.
I was going to say it was nice because you, even though you know you didn't have to tip, you didn't feel like, oh my gosh, and I should leave this person a tip because they're so amazing. You know, my husband's career is tip based. It is, and Sarah is 100% absolutely right that American tipping is out of control, but we're so far into it, we're not getting out of it.
Right.
Mhm.
But it was nice that on the ship, it was nice to know that they're paid a living wage
Yes.
without being dependent on people sailing.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Virgin started during the pandemic and they've still been as successful as they are, and that's, it's a testament to how good the product is. Like I said, I did not want to go on this thing and find myself wanting to go more and more. Every time we talk about it, I'm like, God, I wish I was on there again.
Yeah.
I keep trying to sell him some.
I mean,
think
I would like to
I
take my
wanna go
husband
back.
on there to experience it because he had to work, so he was at home.
Shall
So
I could bring Mike in here right now and he'd be like, let's go. Let's go tomorrow.
Triple dates.
On a cruise.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the.
see,
Go ahead, Jen.
I was gonna say Kevin's only hold back because after I got back, I told we talked about it and everything else. He's like, "How is the drinking situation?" Because my husband doesn't drink, so he was like, "How is the behavior?" Because after so long of that, he's like, "I'm done. I'm over it." And yeah, being a bartender, you would think he's used to it, but it's still like, I'm done.
Well, think
I
it's
can only deal with it so
you're
long.
not drinking.
But it wasn't. You didn't
No.
You didn't see anybody
No.
I didn't see anybody on our ship that was like completely wasted.
No, people were having fun, and if we want to transition into talking about the party nights, there were certainly several party nights throughout. They had the pajama party, had the disco party, and then of course ending with Scarlet Night. Even at those, I didn't see anybody that was crazy over the top, wasted. There were certainly people having fun. Scarlet Night even, but that kind of stuff that's going on. They've got the happenings cast walking around doing stuff like that. All these deck parties, they're just fun. It was a very fun environment, and it was very welcoming. You could participate if you want to get out there and dance. If you wanted to jump in the pool during the party, you could.
Michelle did, didn't she?
I don't know if she did. Or
I
not.
think she did.
Man.
I don't remember if she jumped in.
Didn't you get in the pool, Jen?
Oh, I'm pretty sure
We
she
stood in
probably
we
did.
stood in it in the first
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
The on pool, we stood in it
You were
because it was only like shin deep, but there was a couple of people that, well, it wasn't knee deep and it wasn't ankle deep. It was shin deep.
I just really
But but I mean, there was a couple of people that may or may not have fallen in the pool because they misstepped. I was not one of them.
But it was
Things happen.
fun. And you could, if you wanted to dress up in your disco outfit or your scarlet red outfit or your, pajamas, you could. I don't remember seeing anybody that was crazy risque on pajama night that I remember. But I'm sure it happens from time to time. But and again, it's
It
if you want to
does.
participate, participate. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
Mhm. I agree. I think Mike and I had a great time. We went out on the pool deck when we were there, obviously the week before you guys. And we saw a lot of the stuff, and then we went inside and like walked around, and then we're kind of we liked sitting in the middle area. There was like a lounge when
Yep.
you walk down the steps, and somebody was always playing music there. So it was really great just to kind of sit there um, and listen to the different acoustic to bands that they had playing there or whatever. They had music all over the ship. Also with Red Knight, they had different stations that they had set up there too for us.
Yes.
Did you guys see that too?
Yep.
I thought that was so cool, like entertainment, stations. So it was not just at the pool deck, it was throughout the whole
The whole
entire
ship.
ship as well,
Yep.
which was great. So that not everybody was so like, you go to pirate night and everybody's on the pool deck for pirate night, and everybody's kind of smushed in there looking for a space. So, not to say that's a bad thing. I love pirate night, but you know what I mean.
Not to keep going back to Disney, but that's another thing that I had to adjust to was, on Disney, that ship shut down by midnight. I mean, it's over
Yeah.
with.
Right.
There is nothing left to do after midnight on a Disney cruise. Most of the fun on board Virgin didn't start till about 9 o'clock at night. We were
Yes.
dragging Jen down every night. Please, Jen, please come with us. 'Cause
Come
she's
to the
ready to go
dark
to
And
bed.
side.
But
I'm so old. I need to go to bed.
Except we're both older than you.
I know.
But
Well,
hey, Mike and I were in bed like well before midnight each night because, like, we would see all the stuff and things, and then it was time to go. But we could hear because we would have our, if we sat out on our deck or if we had our patio open because of the wind, the breeze coming through, that was so nice, and you could hear like they were ready to go out there.
Josie, do you want to talk about the green nature of the ship? I know that was one of your favorite things.
Yes. So during training, what really sparked my interest with Virgin was their sustainability efforts that they go through. Um, just that they really do make large amounts of effort to be green as they possibly can. Um, I think it is a pound and a half of plastic grocery bags, I believe, that creates
C-band.
your C band, and
yeah.
those are completely recyclable after your cruise. Uh, and it's just all of the efforts that they make. They use special cleaning products, I believe, to help the environment. They push reef safe everything to create anything that goes into the water that will protect the sea and all of the fish and everything that live in the sea. So that's really good. So it doesn't pollute anything. Um, wh- what were the other things? Because now
Oh,
I'm
I
drawing a blank.
well, the hammocks on
So I
Yellow Leaf. Yellow Leaf makes the hammocks that are on there, and which they're made of recyclable materials, just like the bracelets, right? So everybody has a hammock on the ship, right? That has like a balcony on it, and you can actually go down to the store and buy one yourself, and the money
Yes.
goes right back to these women who make them, and they make sure that who where they came from, who made them, all that stuff, which I absolutely love. So it's
That
like hitting so many
that is
birds with one
so
stone.
special to me. They
Yeah.
really do
They-
try hard.
yeah. And
they
they're
do, and I'm
very
Oh, another thing that they do is you do not find straws on board,
Mhm.
and you do not have anything that is necessarily throwaway.
Yeah,
Uh,
down to the containers that you eat out of, even the um, the bento boxes and stuff
mhm.
that they had. Those were cleaned and recycled as well.
I took one home.
They
Oops.
were pretty awesome.
They were
Did
so
you take a cup too? Because I know you take a cup from every ship you've been on.
maybe, maybe,
Hey, it serves its purpose. You're reusing it. It counts.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Well,
you
Those
can't keep
bento
saying
boxes
that
were
because
phenomenal.
they're gonna start like tracking me around the cruise ships now. Like, what is she taking? She's like an 80-year-old lady taking the salt and pepper shakers from the
oh my
table.
I was
gosh.
gonna say next are the salt and pepper shakers, and they're gonna go in your purse.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of Bimini? While it's not quite a private island, how did you guys feel about Bimini?
I liked their area. I thought it was really cool from the shuttles that took you to where you needed to go. And just going, I would say don't do any excursions, just go to their little pool party beach area. And I saw a lot of people like went to the beach, or I'm sorry, the pool. Mike and I went to the beach, and you do have to get there early if you want to get a seat right up front.
The only thing that I'll add to the second tram stop, and I don't know if it happened to you, Sarah, or not, but we got on the
So
tram. Go ahead, Jen.
is that I was gonna say, is that where we got on the tram and took the golf? It was like golf cart tram sort of situation,
Yes, that was the
Yes.
second stop. Is where
right?
they attack you, asking if you want a golf cart or not. And maybe they were just extra this day, but we were kind of scared at stop number two. Some guy was filming the golf cart people, and they got up in arms, and I thought a fight was going to ensue. So we did not enjoy the Bimini experience ourselves. Probably might not even get off, but it was kind of scary at the golf cart situation.
Oh.
Yeah, the resort itself at Bimini was nice. I am a supremely picky eater, and I did not like any of their food at the resort just because I liked certain aspects. I wouldn't have ordered anything to try to eat it. Um, so I think that for me was like a big part of it. But after having to deal with the golf cart situation at stop two, it just kind of made me really anxious. The resort part itself of where you go to Bemini was beautiful. It was very picturesque. I could imagine, you know, if I had just gotten there and not had the experience prior to getting there, uh, it would have been nice. I just felt like their food options were not that great. But again, it's probably because I'm a super picky eater.
Well, and I don't think you're wrong because like of my dietary restrictions, I was very restricted on the island of what I could eat. But just to tell like some options, it was like jerk chicken or it was like some type of fish thing, and
Yeah.
they did have stone pizza like thing there.
Oh, we didn't see
So I
that
had like corn on the cob. I had
one.
corn on the
Yay.
cob, and that's all I could eat. So yeah,
Jen,
that's
how
what
did
I
you feel
got.
about
I didn't
Bimini?
eat on the island either, because I'm not a picky eater. It was just that day I was like, none of this sounded good to me.
Yeah, that was, and of course, you hate to talk bad about their one, semi-private island experience, but yeah, we just ended up going back to the ship and going to the galley or having pizza. I can't remember. The pizza on board's amazing. Of course, most cruise ship pizza is pretty darn good, but yeah, we just ended up going back and getting some French fries and pizza, I think,
I'm watching a movie, I
and
think.
watching a movie. Yeah.
Oh God,
I that's what cat attack. That's what I loved about like those little take and go boxes. Like they're like charcuterie board things or like the fruit or the sushi or whatever. I absolutely love that because then you could take stuff and go back to your room with it. Like they didn't care if you wanted to
Right.
take stuff back to your room. Like our water guy. Plus, they had just to go back to what you were saying too, Joe's about sustainability and green. Like you had water crofts refilled with fresh water every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously like towels and stuff, but I mean, you know, for reuse. So I liked all of that. I liked all of it. I'll do all of it again.
All of it again.
I'll do
Another
all
thing
of it again.
about their sustainability and trying to cut down on waste and just making sure everything is up to their standards and fresh is they do not have a buffet. So that
Yes.
means that all of your food is made to order, even in the galley where you have numerous little areas to order from. So you can have like there's a diner, there's
Taco bar.
taco bar. It's all made fresh for you right then. It's not just sitting there for you to just grab something. The only area that you can grab anything that's pre-made is the bento boxes, and those were restocked every few hours because they were flying off of those little refrigerator shelves.
Yeah.
You could rarely find anything. We found the charcuterie board one twice,
Yes.
and I was like, oh, get it now because it's going to be
Yep.
gone. So, very fresh
Well,
food.
and I think the other important thing you mentioned, it's not a traditional buffet. The Virgin ordering process, so you can walk up to one of those stations and order food, or via the app, which the app's kind of, yeah, the app was hit and miss, but you can order food via the app as well, and they'll bring it to wherever you physically are, which is a very cool experience. Also at the buffet, if you want to order something or from the galley, not the buffet, there's a little table thing that you can raise the flag. A server will come over, ask you what you want. You can go, and they'll go get it for you. So it's a very non-buffet experience. Some people used to cruising are still, standing up there in the line, and you can do that if you want to. But there was one day the line was long, and I wanted some tacos. I just set my happy rear end down, put the red flag up, and let them go get it for me.
Yeah. And I love that too. Over by the pool, Mike and I, we didn't sit down by like where the pool level was. We went right up above, and they had like a little Asian kind of noodle place around the corner there. That was like super accommodating because I can't have the noodles or the rice. So they're just like, well, what can you have? And I was like, pop, 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 and let them know basically the vegetables. And they're like, here you go. And it was really cool. So really tell accommodating they were, all of that. Oh, can I mention one more thing?
Go ahead.
I was so excited. So like I've been on this like journey situation, right? And I was, our favorite thing that we ended up doing every single morning was going to the galley, right? Ordering our omelet and like fruit and bacon, whatever. And Mike and I would go and sit right in the back there where you could go and they had all those chairs outside and you could just watch the water, right? So he would go and go early to sit and have coffee, and I would go all the way to the top deck to the sunrise yoga and to sit there with the breeze. And it wasn't a large class. It was like I think the most was maybe like 8 people in the class, and it was very easy flow. So like I went into like the gym and the workout area, and it was like I was uber intimidated at first because I was just restarting everything, and people would be in there with their cute little 80s workout Barbie stuff on, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm going to be as black as possible. Like, it's all swimming. Really? The business line is ringing. Hold,
Yeah.
please. I don't know if you
You
can
can
hear
answer it. I'm not answering it. It is after
Travel
whatever
Advisors
time it is.
Unlimited
Well,
after
this is
hours.
how
How can I help
dedicated your
you?
Travel Advisors Unlimited team is to making sure that you are
That's
accommodated
okay.
at any time. I think we can take Sarah out briefly. Okay. Some of the other things that were different about Virgin, we mentioned or Jen, you mentioned the no photo package thing is certainly something that was different. The no constant announcements was another thing. Um,
I really appreciated that.
I did too.
Yes.
Not having to hear that thing go off constantly with this is going on here and this is going on there. All that stuff was not.
Yes, and like to me, so
Or did you?
we live in a world where um everyone's so overstimulated now. And I think throwing something in like that can throw people into more overstimulation and kind of not be involved in stuff. And I feel like this was kind of just a way of everything just going a little better. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Kind of.
Yeah, it was
Like it
nice.
wasn't overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. The whole experience wasn't overwhelming.
Well, you also tend to feel very pressured into going to something that they're announcing shipwide. Like, goodness gracious, I have to go there right now. No matter what you're doing, stop and go, whether it's trivia or something else, because apparently it's super important that they're announcing it shipwide. So it's nice that they're not doing
Right.
that. It takes the pressure off and you can fully relax.
Because then you start a whole thing of FOMO where you're like,
Yes.
I gotta go. I'm gonna miss out. What if I don't go?
Mhm.
So it's kind of nice that they don't do that because you just kind of go, oh, what's going? Like you pull up the app and you're like, yeah, what's going on? So
How did you
I really like that too.
the app, Jen?
So I was the only one whose app always worked.
You were the lucky one. We relied on you heavily for the app.
Yes. And I was the one that was like, I'm not planning anything. Here you go. And I would just hand my phone to Michelle because I wasn't planning anything.
Now, on this particular cruise, we were on the Dominican days. So Josie and I did
5 nights.
5 night. We did a ATV excursion in the Dominican Republic. It took a little while to get there, but super fun. We both ended up covered in lots and lots of mud that day.
It was raining.
But even if you don't want to do an excursion that day, Jen, you found something fun to do right there at the port.
Yes. As soon as you get off the boat into the port, right there's lazy river, there's restaurants, there's shop, there's all sorts of stuff to do right there. You do not have to have an excursion. The day beds are complimentary, first come, first serve. There's hammocks, there's just a regular pool. There was just so much to do without having to plan. And
that area looked very nice when we walked by.
It was fantastic. It was quiet. I mean, granted, because we were sharing it with, I think it was a Royal Caribbean ship that was in port with us. And it was just nice because even though there were kids and stuff, it wasn't overwhelming. Like everybody was pretty respectful of everybody's spaces, and it was just a good time.
Yeah, and that space in particular looked safe. I didn't feel like it was one of those over touristy things where you got people attacking you necessarily. It felt. I mean, certainly they're trying to sell you stuff, but it wasn't one of the ones where they're just coming up to you and attacking you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Right. So at that port, it's actually blocked off. It is not open to locals at all. The only way they can get in is if they work there. So you're not going to have the, oh, let me braid your hair, $5. Let me sell you this trinket. Let me,
It's handmade from China.
The pushers. Yes, the pushers. I like to call them pushers. But it was nice. It was nice because you didn't have that.
Yeah, absolutely. Unlike the golf cart stop, but we won't talk about Bruno on that one.
Exactly.
Nope.
The other, I think, big difference that we experienced was the fact that you could check out so late. I'm used to having to get off that ship just as soon as you possibly can. But I don't think we got off the ship till like 9:30 or 10 that morning.
Yeah, it was, I mean, compared that we've only been on Disney cruises, it was much later than Disney. And although it was slightly hectic there, it still flowed and everybody was still very personable, even though it was, 9:30 in the morning. I think it went rather smoothly. I liked the fact that I didn't have to get up before the sun got up to get off the ship.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's funny because I'm normally that person that, as soon as we're docked, I'm like, just get me off the boat. I got to go home because I want the rest of the day myself, because I'm so used to staying at Port Canaveral, which is 45 minutes from my house. So, when I go out of Port Canaveral, I'm off the boat by 8 a.m. I'm home by 8:45, and I have the whole day. But going out of Miami, I was just like, it's a 3-hour drive. Doesn't matter what time I get off, as long as I get out before get home to pick up my kids from school. Because that was my day.
Yeah, the debarkation process was a little hectic. I feel they could have used some traffic cops around to kind of get folks in the right order there somewhat. But for the most part, customs was super quick. They've
Oh,
got the
yeah.
new upgraded digital systems there. So I mean, once we actually physically got off the ship, I mean, we were off.
Yep.
Welcome
Oh
back,
yeah,
Sarah.
Deep Park.
Taking care of your
Hi.
clients all
Yeah,
hours
well,
of the
Welcome
day.
actually,
back.
that was travel agent Billy's client that wanted to make a final payment, but she is sailing away on spring break, so I get to be the after hours and the backup.
And that's
So
the support you
Woohoo.
get from traveladvisorsunlimited.com.
literally, we work together on everything, so which is great. So, but I did enjoy actually debarkation. Did I say that right?
You did.
Debarkation. Yes. Okay.
Disembarkation.
Oh,
Disembarkation.
look at
5
you being
syllables,
fancy.
teacher. Yes. Anyway, I did enjoy it. I did not enjoy the parking structure that shared with, I think it was Carnival, right? So like the parking structure when you drove there,
See, we just
you had it.
Ubered in.
Oh, you see, yeah, and
I
it was like
see.
a
I
mess.
drove in. We didn't share where I parked. It wasn't that bad. I literally
See,
pulled in, dropped my luggage,
yeah.
and parked.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing too. When we pulled around, right, to the and you can see it says Virgin it's huge. It says Virgin, it stands way out. That I loved. But I also did not see the sign that said to drop your here and then go park. Yeah. Ready for it? Yeah. So it says to drop your luggage and all this stuff here and then go park. We didn't see that.
Ah,
So I thought it was just for like people that were like Ubering in or whatever that you pulled in there. So we went and parked, and of course we found on the top floor, and then had to like wait for the one elevator that worked,
Oh,
and
no.
then it was just like a whole experience that way. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, it's one ship, but like they should have their own parking garage. That's all I have to say.
one thing of
So
note, and they made sure to tell us when we were dropping off our baggage, is you do still tip the porters at the port
Yes.
that take your bags, and they will be happy to remind you of that fact. That is the one thing that you do still need tip money for.
Yes, because those people are actually not Virgin employees. They are employees of the port.
Yep.
yes. Yeah.
So, from our travel advisor friends here, what are some things that you need to know when booking Virgin as far as dates of when you need to book and booking excursions and so on?
So as far as pre-booking excursions, the drink package and dining, there are different timelines for those. Dining is 45 days prior to sailing, and to do a bar tab, um, they do not have a drinks package. You just put money on a bar tab, and that goes for your entire voyage. But you can only add money to that bar tab prior to sailing, and that ends 24 hours before you sail. So you can add money, and there's lots of perks to adding that. Sometimes they will meet a certain amount and give back to you.
I think in this
Sometimes,
particular cruise, it was if you bought a $300 bar tab, they'd give you 50 more and
yeah.
things along those lines. It varies throughout the year, obviously, as pricing does. But
So that's always something to look into on the app, um, or ask your travel advisor. They will also help you with that. Excursions, you can pre book excursions 120 days out from sailing. If you stay in a rock star suite, that is 135 days out.
Well, let's talk about those real quick. So you've got the insider staterooms, you've got the sea terraces, and then you've got Rockstar and Mega Rockstar. There are differences there. Those would be equivalent to your suites on the other cruise lines. The Mega Rockstar suites even include an unlimited in-room bar that they fill up for you. You let them know what liquors you're interested in, and they will fill those up. They even have some of the Mega Rockstar cabins that have guitars and a recording studio on board. So
Very
That's cool.
fancy.
very, very fancy.
And the Mega Rockstar also included your beverages, all of them.
It's all of your beverages.
And you get the Richards rooftop. No,
Access with the
With
regular.
both.
Yep, exactly. Which is like
Yes.
on Disney, your concierge area that would be on the top deck kind of thing.
The solarium area that would be on Royal Caribbean as well. So it's kind of like the adult only section, except exclusive.
Super bougie,
Because it is-
exclusive area.
Yes, there you go. Because I'm like, it is adult only.
very pop.
So it's the very adult only area opposed to the regular adult only area.
I
the
do
rooms
want to
are
say,
obviously
like,
bigger. Good, seriously.
yeah. No, that's fine. I do want to say, like, I think that's so smart, Josie. Like, as you were mentioning these dates, like, from when we booked this, like, it was well after some of these. It was super last minutely
Yes.
booked. So, like, I was panicking when Michelle was all like Travel Advisors Unlimited agent Michelle had mentioned, oh,
my
look, we
goodness.
booked all this stuff. And I'm like, what did you book? Like, I have to pre-book all this stuff. Of course, me, like, yeah, I did my training, whatever. And I went on then, and thank God you download the app as soon as you deposit with one of the advisors. That is number one. So you deposit with one of the advisors, you download the app, you enter your reservation number, you start entering your personal information in. And then from there, your advisor, and I will work on doing automated things for that, but will prompt you with what Josie had just said. I think that's so important. And then research the dining stuff. And because we've been on it, like, we can help them with some of the dining choices.
Yes.
Like, I would say 100% the ship show is like, you have to book it. I think that
Nope.
the test kitchen
Yes.
have to book it. There's some restaurants I'm like, meh, pass it. You know what I mean?
We
it
had a
just
good time at the
depends.
Korean barbecue one, though. I will say that.
Yay!
So so you guys I know had a good time. We did not. Ours
Well,
was not good.
The service was
So-
not good.
The sake was.
No,
The
But the
sake.
the sake was delightful.
I had water. Like,
One
he's just
thing-
like, you want to play? I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay, I'll put water in your shot glass. I'm
Oh
like,
my
"This is not
goodness.
fun."
The one thing to note about the bars, or excuse me, not the bars, but the restaurants, is that their drinks come from their bar, even the soda. So that was the one problem we ran into. I ended up being our server because in Gun Bay, because the drink machine was just around the corner in the galley. It took us forever to get a refill, so I just went and refilled our own cups. That was the only. Well, we did have one more bad dining.
And when the server came back, you could tell he was mortified because he was like, he had the look on his face,
Oh,
and you,
man,
you
yeah.
could tell that he was like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And then there was a point when I had ordered another bottle of sake, and that took forever, so they comped it.
that was a slow dining experience. That was not my favorite type of food, just because, again, super picky. I don't eat any shellfish. I have an allergy to it, and I don't eat anything from any body of water, just because it grosses me out. But there wasn't a whole lot that I ate there. I think some bean sprouts.
Gizmo.
So no Low Country Boil for you when you come next
No.
weekend?
No.
No, not for
Okay.
Josie.
That's okay, Josie. We're going to have nuts and beef sticks and protein shakes. It's going to be great.
Perfect, because that's what I'm on to. Throw some veggies in there.
Exactly.
But I
That'd
would
be
say
good.
overall the dining experiences were a little bit slower than I was used to. So do allot yourself some time. That's important to know that you can book the dining experiences ahead of time. The shows you do also need to book some of them at least. You have to do that on board the ship. It varies per cruise. If it's not a super busy cruise, they may just do. And I've read recently they've been doing more of this where it's just the standby line. Basically, you get in line and wait and get in. I would highly recommend getting in line early for the ship show so that you get a table on the
Yes.
ground right by the stage. You can get called up on the stage like Jen did. But if you want a good seat, that's a good
Well, they
place to
were
go.
also very interactive with everyone on the floor level. So that was super fun no matter where you were. But sitting right next to the stage was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people say, "Oh, I hate making reservations and have everything all planned out." But this wasn't like that. Like having the reservations, I thought was a value just because of the type of cruise it was. It's not like you're dealing with your kids. It's not like you're dealing with whatever. Like it was nice to be like, "Oh, it's we can go back and have a nap because or whatever, because in the show, and then you freshen up your makeup and you go and you feel great. So I really did find that was value. Also, outside of that really cool room that you walk through that's so viral, with all the
Ooh,
that goes
Yep.
into that dinner show,
The
was the
hallway.
casino.
Into the
Yeah,
manor.
and
The
the
manor,
man,
which was
yes, the
named
my
after the first Virgin recording studio, if I understood correctly.
yes.
Oh, but they had the casino, and even though they have a casino, it's smoke free and it was not large. It was not the main point of view of the ship, and I loved that.
So that was
So,
our first experience with having a casino on board because,
oh
again,
yeah, Disney,
16 cruises with Disney. Disney does not have a casino. And
right?
I've never experienced a casino. Um, and so I was picturing like some dark, dusty,
Yeah,
smoky atmosphere, but it was far from that. It was very
yeah,
clean. It was very bright.
yeah.
As far as well lit, I didn't feel it was like scary or sketchy. It was clean. Everybody was very friendly. It was appropriate tones and levels of volume.
Mhm.
Nobody was like screaming or
That's because they
angry.
weren't winning.
Yeah.
But
Probably.
It
it
could have
felt
been. It
like,
could have been.
I won't say it was an afterthought, but it didn't feel like it certainly wasn't a focus on the ship because again, they're going for
Yeah.
that luxury yacht feel versus it being
Yes.
your traditional cruise ship.
Agreed.
Agreed, 100%. And I think that's why they put it there too, because it was almost like an afterthought thought as you're walking through to go to the show,
Right.
right? To
Right.
the main stage. And then did you guys find the karaoke area?
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I sure did.
That was
You want to know how I found it?
wow.
I could hear it in my room. That's how I found it.
Oh
I was walking
no.
around the last night and it's it there were certain individuals on our cruise that did kind of sound like birds dying maybe, but it was a good time. They were
I
having a
love
They
it.
had a
great
good time.
time and
They
everyone
were having a great time.
had an amazing time.
Yeah. Well, good. And you know what's so great about that is that okay, because I am totally tone deaf as well, right? And I could not get up in front
Own
of
it.
a bunch of people. But yeah, that's the thing. When
Gizmo,
you're in
stop.
these little rooms, like your private room with your own
Yeah,
you could just rip roar. I mean, I'm Taylor Swift all day long. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
it was just, and it was great because you walk in and you can sign up for a specific time if you want. And just like you said, these people are having a great time. You can do this and get that champagne service,
Shaky
but
falls of
right
champagne.
there,
Yep.
you know. So I love that where it's like their own private recording session. And did you know that you can get it recorded and take home?
Well, of
Oh, how
course you'd want to
fun.
do that.
Oh
On a
my god.
record.
We
On a
should do
record.
that. Let's do it
We've
next
all
time
got
because
to
I'm
get on
gonna
a cruise
bust out.
together. That was the problem. We weren't on there together. We've got
I
to
was
do it
not going
together.
with y'all. I was going to have some
Aw.
R&R with my husband. I love you to death. But now I'm like, okay, I will.
But I think
So,
overall, all of us would say, and as we said at the beginning of the video, we certainly would do Virgin again. We are doing
Yes,
Virgin again.
we are.
And the
yeah.
lovely team here, Sarah, Miss Jen, and my lovely wife, Josie, here can help you get booked on your next Virgin voyage. You can visit us online at traveladvisorsunlimited.com. And Jen, you want, or actually not Jen, Sarah, you want to tell us a little bit about the agency before we take it away? Or Jen, either one of you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, we are a fantastic team. boutique travel agency. Our home base is in St. Augustine, Little Bit, Florida. And we have amazing agents all over from the East Coast to the West Coast that can help anybody with any of their worldwide travel needs. What's great is that everybody specializes in something, but can book everything, if that makes
Exactly.
sense. And because we are such a boutique and so small, we do this. We're a team. So just as you guys saw me pick up that phone call, we help each other out. So if we get stuck on a question, it's to the group chat we go, and we ask and help each other along the way. And that's something that you're not going to find. I think you two can agree with me at a lot of places, a lot of other agencies, because
I
they kind of
agree
are just
wholeheartedly.
like, here you go and figure it out, but not here. We don't, there's not just an I in team. There's no I in team. There's no I in team.
Whoop, whoop.
And we also
Woo
have
woo.
available too. We can do group cruises with Virgin. They have some additional benefits. If you've got some friends that you want to sail with, the team here can get you set up with a circle, as they call it, on Virgin, and that has some added benefits. But we're looking again to do some more content on Virgin in the future, and maybe have some special offers along with that content. So we'll see. But if we can help you with anything, please visit online at traveladvisorsunlimited.com. Miss Jen, Miss Sarah, Josie, thank you so much for taking your Friday evening with us here for our first episode of the Travel Advisors Unlimited show. We'll see you next time, and if there's any content you want to see, just shoot us a message, and we'll be glad to do for it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Happy Easter.
See ya.
Adios.